You've been here, what, 2 years ago, something like that?
I was here last summer, actually, for the Montreal Jazz Festival, and John?
I was here a couple of years ago with the Yes Group, Big Generator.
And now you're back together with Steve Howe and Rick Wakeman, and you're bringing this art rock movement to a certain point in your careers, and I think people are desperate to see you tonight, because if we only look at what's happening in the province of Quebec with the album Brother of Mine and the recent material, statistically speaking, you're at number 5 right now, which is very good, and you always had that special touch with the people in Quebec. You probably remember years ago.
This is true, yeah.
We have that special, according to Brian Ferry and a lot of people, we have that kind of European flavor, that kind of European touch in Montreal.
This is true.
Now, how do you feel that the relationship is being carried on with the people in Quebec and in Montreal?
Well, it's always one of the nicest audiences in the world, I think, the French-Canadian side, certainly. And it was always one of the audiences that was the first onto any of this kind of British music over the last 20 years, this so-called progressive rock music, which is not a term I like, actually. Would you like to translate?
Les gens d'Anderson, Bruford, Wakeman and Howe, est-ce qu'on va là-bas? On pourrait peut-être aller là-bas, ça pourrait être différent. Sont très contents de venir à Montréal parce qu'encore une fois, Montréal est une ville qui a toujours eu un cachet particulier, une espèce de petit cachet européen, une saveur particulière. Et puis on a toujours eu un amour particulier pour les artistes britanniques et la musique de Yes, la musique d'autres groupes. On peut penser à Genesis et beaucoup d'autres. Alors c'est quand même quelque chose de spécial, une sensation spéciale pour eux de revenir à Montréal. Now with the new project.
He's good at it, isn't he?
Very good.
Thank you very much.
Very good.
Thank you. I feel much better now.
You said it much better than I did.
Who decided, actually? Was it some sort of a consensus between the members of this actual project?
To play Quebec?
To play Quebec and to play together again.
Well, originally, I think it was last summer, I was working in Greece, and I decided that I wanted to move from my position in Los Angeles with the Yes Group in order to make stronger music. I just felt that it'd be interesting to get in touch with Bill again, because we've always stayed friends, and to get in touch with Rick and Steve and see if there was a musical energy that we wanted to do, and
if the chemistry was still there.
It was instant, you know. As soon as I got on the phone, it just seemed like I'd opened up a door, which opened up other doors, and all of a sudden we were in the throes of making an album before we knew it, and here we are on tour, and I've only just met him. Come on, it's quick. Translation?
It's quick. Okay, we'll translate. Les membres ont décidé. John Anderson était en Grèce l'été dernier. Il travaillait. Were you working with Vangelis?
Yeah, yeah.
You were?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll talk about that a bit later on. Il était en Grèce l'été dernier. Il faisait encore du travail avec Vangelis. On se souvient de l'album Friends of Mr. Cairo, qui avait connu beaucoup de succès ici. Donc John Anderson, qui adore travailler avec Vangelis. Mais à un certain point, il a décidé de vouloir attaquer d'autres choses, de quitter Los Angeles, de quitter le groupe Yes, de travailler avec Vangelis et de carrément faire une musique un petit peu plus percutante, un petit peu plus forte, un petit peu plus en demande. Donc, ce qu'il a décidé de faire, c'est donner un coup de fil à Bill Bruford et Steve Howe. Et puis, instantanément, la chimie s'est redéveloppée comme par miracle.
La chimie.
La chimie. La chimie.
Chimie.
La chimie.
C'est bon, chimie.
Découvert. Et puis, à partir de ce moment-là, ben évidemment, on a décidé de faire un album ensemble, ce qui s'est fait quand même assez rapidement. Donc, on est en tournée actuellement. On est à Montréal ce soir. Now, we can talk about it. Like that radio voice?
Very
now.
good.
Yeah, that's good.
You like
Here we go.
Working with Vangelis, is there going to be some kind of new project?
Yeah, we're just finishing an album. He's mixing it now. I hope he's finished.
Shall we give him a call?
Vangelis. He's in Rome at the moment, and it's always difficult to mix in Rome. You know?
It's difficult to do anything in Rome, really, isn't it?
Difficult to drive in Rome.
Yeah, and that's coming along great.
And what kind of project are we talking about?
It's a new album.
It's a new album.
John and Vangelis. It's pretty
Is there
wild.
a certain theme that's going to be developed?
I don't know. I asked him to do certain things in production because he is very, very sort of advanced on the keyboard level into modern symphonic music, which, you know, Vangelis is really an incredible character. So I hope he's going to imprint that on the album with these very interesting songs that we've written. So.
And you're going to combine this project with other projects, obviously. Do you feel that you have to get the creative output constantly out in different projects? Is that some sort of a personal need for you?
I think we both feel the same. Collectively, we agree that to work together is a very, very exciting moment for us, because obviously we've matured, we know our music very well. It's great to play some of the classic songs like Close to the Edge and You and I on stage together, as well as the new album. But also we like a little bit of freedom to do other things.
When we started, I think the feeling was that one rock group could contain and should contain all the musical ideas of everybody within it, and that's how it all started on the whole. Nowadays, I think the feeling is that it's unfair to that one rock group to expect to be able to contain everybody's musical desires. It's unrealistic.
You have to have a group that diversity at one point.
Yeah.
And expand and probably explore in different,
of course, and
styles
then you bring it back together.
And I've got to windsurf sometime. I mean,
play golf.
Play golf.
There you go.
Windsurf.
Ce qui se passe, c'est que les membres du groupe ont décidé quand même de travailler ensemble, mais tout de même de garder une porte particulière pour chaque membre, puisqu'ils ont quand même des affinités musicales différentes. Et plutôt que de tenter de contenir tous les membres dans une entité et puis ne jamais aller explorer ou procéder à une expansion musicale d'un côté et l'autre par membre, on a décidé tout simplement de garder une liberté musicale, comme John Anderson qui se prépare à lancer un nouvel album avec Vangelis. Vangelis qui est à Rome actuellement pour le mixage. Donc, tous les membres ont quand même certaines préférences. Et puis, lorsqu'on revient ensemble, c'est à ce moment-là qu'on peut vraiment procéder à une diversité musicale et puis composer un nouvel album comme Brother of Mine. By the way, what do you say we go to the clip? We'd like to see the video clip
Indeed
from
so.
Brother of Mine. Shall we do that? Voici le clip de Anderson, Bruford, Wakeman and Howe. Ça s'appelle Brother of Mine. On est de retour avec Bill Bruford et John Anderson dans quelques instants à Musique Plus. Toujours en compagnie de Bill Bruford et John Anderson, d'Anderson, Bruford, Wakeman and Howe.
You like my piano playing on that? It was good.
Love it.
Oh, I'm the drummer.
We love it. We're just mad about it right here in Montreal. Now we have another video coming up. We were discussing it, practically tearing our fine friend Gilles Pétel's head off because we don't have it. It is a forthcoming video then. It's called Order of the Universe. And John, you were telling us about possibly shooting a third video.
Yeah, Order of the Universe was a live shot. It was our fourth show. And
what we call a performance video in the biz.
Performance video, yeah. And it's very good. And now we're just talking about another part of the album is called Quartet. It's a very gentle sort of song, and we're thinking about creating a video for this as well. You know, we're very, very aware of the television
as a
energy,
medium,
you know, and we have to sort of get into it a little bit more. It's something that we didn't grow up with as musicians, you know. We were sort of more into the music initially, and then we sort of got dragged in, kicking and screaming, into the TV world of videos, and we're still trying.
Nowadays they're all right little posers, aren't they?
Yeah,
you think it's important though that
well, they're used to it, I suppose.
You're used to it. Is it still fun for the creativity part of video?
It's like going to the dentist, actually. Well, it's like having a photograph taken isn't the best thing in the world. You do it once a year to go and have your photograph taken. The rest of the time you're making music and thinking about your next musical ideas and steps and stuff, and that's great.
Il y a un autre clip qui s'en vient bientôt. On aurait voulu vous le présenter aujourd'hui, mais vous en faites pas, on vous le présentera sous peu. Ça s'appelle Order of the Universe. Il y a même un troisième clip qu'on est en train de préparer, un clip live carrément, un clip de performance, donc c'est à surveiller de très près. About the music on the album, is one of the members responsible in most part for the songwriting and the musical composition, or is it a real team effort?
No, it's John led, with Steve as a close second in a way. John was the guiding principle behind all this, and I kind of tagged along in the wake.
I tend to sort of direct the music in a certain way by going over to Bill's house and getting all the rhythm ideas, and then I'll go and work with Steve with some song ideas and Rick with some music things, and then go and sort of stick it all together with some sellotape and
a collage.
It's
a collage, exactly.
It's a collage.
We call it a skeleton in the business. In the cupboard.
So
a good one.
So do you think you think the project is going to be pursued as Anderson, Anderson, Bruford, Wakeman, and Howe?
Oh,
or,
yeah, I hope so. You
yeah.
know, personally, I tend to get involved in these things. Whenever I join a group, it's wholeheartedly, and it's with a full commitment for life. You know, I mean, the fact that the thing might stop 20 minutes later is not, you know, it's not the attitude with which you start. And we do have a long-term recording agreement with Arista Records. So no doubt if we don't complete that, the next time we speak it'll be from Rikers Island or San Quentin or somewhere. Or the Montreal equivalent.
Excuse. Sorry. Les membres du groupe ont envie de poursuivre le projet puisque, comme vient de dire Bill Bruford, ils ont une entente avec une compagnie majeure. Donc, c'est quand même probable qu'on entende d'autres matériels du groupe. À part ça, la façon dont le groupe fonctionne, soit dit en passant, c'est que pour cet album-ci, du moins John Anderson a été quand même le centre nerveux, ni plus ni moins que la colonne vertébrale au niveau musical et au niveau de la composition, tandis que chaque autre membre amenait ses éléments pour faire ni plus ni moins qu'un collage et puis apporter justement cette musique qui est quand même assez riche en couleurs et puis qui est très, très envoûtante. Bill, we were talking to John about solo projects and not necessarily solo projects, but outside projects from the band.
Social projects.
Yeah, there you go, social projects. I heard you played jazz at one point with Patrick Moraz. Actually, you played the Spectrum in Montreal.
Yeah.
And you like jazz very much. Do you have other projects aside from
well,
this one?
not even projects. I have another band called Earthworks, which is a UK-based jazz group that has a large interest in putting electronic percussion into jazz. I think it was some of the work that I'd done there that kind of attracted John, and you know, I was looking for an outlet anyway at the same time to get some of that work on the bigger stage, you know, as opposed to the Spectrum, try to do some of that stuff at the Montreal Forum. So it's very useful to me. Earthworks has a second LP out in Canada in 2 or 3 weeks' time. So I suggest you run out and buy a copy of that.
I think we will. Bill Bruford a un projet de jazz qui est un projet carrément britannique avec des membres d'une formation qui est quand même particulière, une formation qui tente de développer la percussion électronique dans le style du jazz. C'est quand même assez important. It's quite a challenge actually. Et puis Earthworks, le nom du groupe, sortira un nouvel album au Canada d'ici 2 à 3 semaines. Donc c'est quand même un scoop comme dirait l'autre. On peut se procurer l'album très bientôt. What label is it?
That would be Virgin A&M.
Bon voilà, alors c'est avec Virgin et A&M, des gens qu'on aime bien ici. On aura sûrement l'occasion de vous en reparler. Peut-être même que Claude Rajotte vous en reparlera. On ne sait jamais. Now about the tour. You're playing Montreal tonight and you're performing live. Is it like every city, every night, every 2 nights? Is it excruciating? Is it an excruciating tour?
It's
I don't like days off.
You don't like days off?
I love days off.
I just like to get up and play.
See these fingers? See these fingers? See that
Golf
one there?
gloves.
Great big thing? No, I can't play with that. No, I'm a sensitive drummer. I can't, you know. No, we have 1 day off in a week. Yeah, day off.
1 day off per week?
Yes.
Yeah. Tomorrow we're in Quebec. And then we have a day off or 2. Actually, we're traveling down to Texas, so it takes a long time for the trucks to go all the way to the.
It figures, right? After Quebec, you play Texas. It's obvious. Obvious if you're a booking agent, isn't it?
How do you feel about the tour itself? Do you still enjoy performing live? Is it a need for you to perform live?
Oh yeah,
very much.
Personally,
it's like a compliment to what you work on.
It's what I am a musician, not a recording artist. You understand?
Okay.
With everything that implies. That a musician means you want to play, and ultimately you've got to take your drum set somewhere and play to someone. That's what people do, called musicians. That's distinct from being, you know, like a pop celebrity man or any of that stuff, which I'm not very interested in.
And how do you feel about the pop celebrities these days? Do you have a certain opinion on those people? Do you think music
names?
Is lacking a bit of...
Let's have some names.
Well, we have some names. Inquiring minds want to know.
Well, it's just not my particular field of endeavor.
But do you feel there's a sense of absence in music these days with the video medium and pop radio and so on?
Somewhat. Yeah, the musical content is diminishing rapidly, and the kind of theatrical content is rising proportionately, which is fine if that's what kids want.
Les gens d'Anderson, Bruford, Wakeman and Howe performent ce soir. Performent, est-ce qu'on peut dire ça, performe? Du moins, ils vont offrir une performance au Forum par la suite demain soir à Québec. Ce sont ce qu'on appelle plus ou moins ni plus ni moins des workaholics. Ils n'aiment pas vraiment avoir des journées de congé. Bill Bruford aime ça, John Anderson, ils ont à peu près une journée de congé par semaine. Puisqu'après Québec, ils s'en vont au Texas pour jouer. Playing Dallas or Austin?
Dallas and Houston.
Dallas et Houston, donc durant la fin de semaine ou d'ici quelques jours. After that, are you sticking around in the US of A or are you going back to Europe?
We have a couple of weeks in California, and then we have a break, and then we tour Europe, and have a break and Christmas comes, and then we're into 1990.
Already?
Already.
1990. Only 10 years to the big one.
Yo.
Yeah, that's right. And how do you feel about that? Is
Wonderful.
time flying too fast?
No, not at all. Well, it is going very fast, yes. Yes, the more you want to do, the less time there is to do it in, of course. Always as a musician. But I'm looking forward to the turn of the century because you'll find a big explosion of forward-looking musical ideas then, which will be great. Whereas now it's a bit repressive, you know. It's a bit like, let's keep those ideas under the hat.
True.
Les membres s'en vont au Texas, s'en vont en Californie, I'm sorry about that. Et puis, par la suite, ils vont retourner tranquillement en Grande-Bretagne. On sera déjà en 1990 et on a d'autres projets dont on aura l'occasion d'en reparler, puisqu'on aura sûrement encore une fois la visite de Bill Bruford et John Anderson. Gentlemen, thank you very much. We appreciate your visit to Musique
Very kind.
Plus.
Thank you.
And we'll see you soon.
À bientôt.
Bill Bruford, John Anderson,
Ciao.
Musique Plus. On poursuit en vidéoclip.